All right, welcome to Coffee with Marcus and Morgan. And so we are going to talk to you about what's happening in the markets and how we are trading it. And wow, there's a lot going on. Today's Friday, August 26th. And till yesterday, we had a 2 day rally ahead of Powell's big speech today. Earlier this morning, the core PCE report was released. So we'll take a look at this and what it said. And then Powell spoke for only 8 minutes. I think one of the shortest speeches that he ever got. And we tell you what he said and what's happening here in the markets. And also, if stocks can pull it off and have a winning week, or if you will have another losing week for stocks. So, plus, we'll show you our current positions and how we are trading these crazy markets. And today, we'll also talk about okay, I have an option expiring. Should I close it or let it expire? So, lots to talk about. And if this is your first time here, I'm Markus Heitkoetter. That super smart guy is my head coach, Mark Hodge. And we're real traders who trade live accounts. We got a ton of trading experience, and we're showing you how we trade these crazy markets. So, talking about crazy markets, let's see what is happening. So, Mark, we came into today with a 2 day rally, but pretty much all week, traders were waiting for the big moment today.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. Looking at the economic calendar, today was a big day. You have PCE price index, which some would say is the Fed's favorite inflation gauge. And so that was coming out this morning. And then there was the Jackson Hole Symposium where central bankers get together. That kicked off yesterday, but Powell was going to be speaking today. And traders and the markets did respond to what he had to say.
Absolutely. We also have the revised University of Michigan consumer sentiment. So we'll talk about
True.
this, but let's start with the core PCE price index. So it came in better than expected. So this is here, even though it shows red, it is good because it's an inflation gauge. And if it goes down, that's good. So, however, it's not negative. It means that inflation has slowed down, but it is still there. That's what it said, right?
Exactly. And so the core PCE price index is a change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers. It does exclude food and energy. So coming in a little bit lower than expected would be a good thing, and definitely lower from the previous month.
All right. So that's good. That's good. And everybody was wondering, is Powell incorporating it in his speech? But then he took the mic and talked for exactly 8 minutes. And so
Yeah,
basically warned of some pain ahead of inflation.
sure. And, he said he was going to be to the point, and he really kind of was. In a nutshell, he said that he will continue to raise rates to fight inflation, which we know. But to quote him, he said, restoring price stability will likely require maintaining a restrictive policy stance for some time. And the historical record cautions strongly against prematurely loosening policy.
Yeah, and that's where the question is always about the soft landing. So will we have a soft landing, or does this right now mean that he is willing to drive the U.S. economy into a recession? I mean, the last time inflation was that high was in the 80s, and this is where Fetchy Volcker actually said, "Yeah, I don't care. I want to get inflation under control," and drove the U.S. into a recession. And now the question is Powell following this, or is he still trying to do a soft landing? So, what do you think?
I think he's sensitive to the economy, but at this point, he's in a position where he could say it's all about inflation. We're tackling inflation. That's it. Because the economy still shows that it's actually doing okay, although it's slowing down. There isn't this big concern right now about just totally killing the economy by raising rates.
Yeah, and this is where we need to see. Okay, before we go to how did the markets react to this, let's take a look at what market participants think right now. This is actually a screenshot from yesterday. So, yesterday, going into today's session, there was a 60-40% favor that trader probabilities that traders are factoring in for a 0.75% rate hike. So, shall we take a look and see what it is right now after Powell's big speech?
Let's do it.
What do you think? Or have you already peeked?
Probably more, I think a little more 50-50.
Why? I mean, if he says that we are aggressively raising interest rates, wouldn't it mean that right now traders think, oh yeah, they're for sure going for a 3/4 point?
Just because I think that there's a lot more data left, the PCE price index basically was positive, and I don't he you have hawkish versus dovish, right? And he
Right.
was slightly more hawkish, but I don't think he was super aggressive. I really don't think so.
All right, let's take a look at it. And boom, look at you. You're a
It's still not
genius.
50-50,
It's not
but a
50/50,
little more
but
down.
the probability of a 3/4% hike has decreased. I mean, honestly, when I looked at this, I was surprised. I thought that
Okay,
his comments were definitely more hawkish and that people thought, oh my gosh, they'll keep raising interest rates. But this is where they also said, we'll keep an eye on the data. And they very clearly said yesterday, Fed president also said it, we don't care about 1 month of inflation going down. We want to see more data. They want to
sure.
see 2 to 3 months. All right. Now let's take a look at how the markets reacted to this. What do you want to look at? The S&P. Let's actually take a look at the Nasdaq, and we're switching to a 5-minute chart, and this is where we see a little bit opening lower, but then Powell was speaking. Boom, and then oh, it wasn't as hawkish as we expected. But then wait, he said kind of in different words that he doesn't care whether he drives the economy into a recession. So this is where it goes back to okay. Wait a minute. What did he mean when he says some pain? Because he
Yeah,
didn't clarify that, right?
and that's the thing. Traders are looking for anything to potentially move the market. This was the biggie this week. But we also have talked about the run up that we had for weeks and how a pullback is okay. A pullback is healthy. And, at this point, news is out. This one's behind us. Maybe there's some profit taking heading into the weekend.
Yeah, and usually when the news is out, this is when there's more certainty, and this is what many traders expected today. That with more certainty, one way or the other, markets would rally. So the reason why I believe they're dropping right now is because of the uncertainty. It's exactly as you said. If you're looking right now, okay, did he give us any clues whether they will raise interest rates by 3/4 of a point or half a point? No, not really. Did he actually say anything that gives us a hint of what they're doing? Not at all. And this is why uncertainty is back, and uncertainty means for the VIX, the fear factor, it's going up. And when this is going
Yeah.
up, markets are going down. That's how it is. It's just like, okay, we don't know anything anymore, and we we were waiting the whole week for
Yeah.
Powell's famous 8 minutes. So I
Yeah.
think that everybody expected a little bit more clarity, and Powell basically said, "Yeah, we're still worried about inflation. Yeah, we will do whatever we need to do, and it'll cause some pain, whatever that is."
He will continue to raise rates to fight inflation.
Yeah. So I mean, markets right now still dropping. I mean, this is where live chart here right now of the E-mini Nasdaq. Same for the not E-mini, but for the Nasdaq index, for the S&P, and for the Dow. So markets down sharply. Nasdaq leading the indices lower with 2.5% down right now.
Yeah, that's a decent slide, and I mean, gosh, interesting to see the reaction. I had the his speech going on in the background. I was looking for opportunities, seeing if there were some nice puts to be sold here. So I was focused a little more on that. But that back and forth, and now hitting session lows. This is a decent dip. This is
Yeah. And
decent.
I think that that will continue to happen for the remainder of the day. Not that we will keep sliding, but I think it will definitely be a down day, and a down day would make this also a down week for all of the indices. And we see
Sure.
it would have been super challenging, really, to pull this off, and for the Dow to move above 34,000, which would have given us a winning week. So we are looking at a losing week, which would be the second in a row then.
Shoot.
Okay, let's take a look at our positions. Let's see what is happening here. Jumping over to PowerX Optimizer. So I did the Macy's trade on, when was that? On Wednesday, right? So
Yeah,
Wednesday, I did
I think
sell the 17 put, and I mean Macy's was going already yesterday, sharply pulling back, pulling up to 19. Right now, with the overall market coming a little bit down, and this is the 17 put expiring next week, so I still have some time there. Right now, this is I think this is up pretty nicely. We can actually take a look at this. So let's actually hop over here to Macy's, and this is where I sold the 17 put expiring next week, and I sold it for 20 cents. So right now it's trading at 9 over 10 cents. So I'm already halfway there, which is not bad for 2 days, but not
sure.
enough for me to close. And we'll talk about closing options here in a minute, whether this makes sense or not. All right, let's see what else is going on. Nvidia had a phenomenal day yesterday, pretty much giving up back all of the gains from yesterday. Right now, as we are, what are we? Like not quite 1.5 hours after the open here. So down a little bit over 5% here at this point with the overall market weakness. So nothing here to do for me. I got to sign 600 shares at 195. I was hoping that we had a little bit more of a follow through, that I could sell some calls, but might have to wait until next week to do that. Now, for you, it's AMD.
Yep.
AMD, very, very similar here today. Not as much down as NVIDIA, but also down 3.6%. You got assigned at 104. Not enough to really sell calls, right?
That's true. That's true. Nice day yesterday. Not giving up everything that was gained yesterday, but a majority of it.
Yeah. All right. And then we got to talk about TPR. So TPR, I own 2,700 shares at 37, and I was selling the 38 call earlier this week. And the 38 call will expire today worthless. So the question is, should I buy it back or not? And this is where I want to take a look here at TPR and where the call is right now. So I sold the 38 call, and we see that right now the bid ask is $0 over $10. The last traded price is 5 cents. So I could buy it back for 5 cents. So should I do this? I mean, I sold it for, what did I sold it for? For 24 cents. So that would be a nice $19 win per contract times, what did we have here? Let's bring it up, times 27. So where is my handy dandy calculator? So I could $19 times 27, could take $513 and close it, or let it expire. What do you think?
Let it expire.
All right. So here it absolutely makes sense to let it expire, because if we are staying below 38, I will keep my shares, can sell more calls again, and there's no need to buy back. So the question is, why would you buy it back? And this is where it's mainly if you need to free up some buying power, which here for a covered call is not happening anyhow. And so the other thing is, if you make a lot of money in a day, but here
Sure.
not really worth doing it. Okay. Now looking at the scanner, there is a lot going on here right now. I mean, not too surprising, that the markets are falling. That is a great day to sell puts. So we have a lot. ADSK, eh. So this year, they also reported earnings yesterday. For me, this strike price is too high. What do you think?
No, I agree. Too high up there.
Yeah.
Also a bit in a downtrend.
Yeah. So AKAM, it's a little bit more interesting. What do you think about AKAM?
This one caught my attention. I would still like a lower strike around 88. But interesting.
I would like to see how this is correlated to possibly NVIDIA, and for you, because you also have AMD. So interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And the reason why I wanted to check this here, let me just remove it and go back to this, is because it also says technology, software, infrastructure. So I don't know exactly what they're doing. I can look it up here. So content delivery network, so a CDN. I thought that they might have been a little bit more correlated to NVIDIA.
I absolutely agree. That would have been my thought.
Yeah, especially because they say later on because they want to stream video content, make video games available for download, and this is where we know that Nvidia during the earnings call said, "Well, the video gaming section is way down." So I expected this. This is why I think it's good to have this correlation tool here, and I can also enter Macy's here to see what is a possible correlation here to to AKM, and there's none. That is very, very surprising. Glad that we checked. You want to run through a couple of more? Let me just ask you, let's ask the audience. Is this helpful if you're running through a few of these? Shall we just go maybe through 3, 4, 5 more so that I get an idea? If this is helpful at all, click on like or leave a comment below, and then we can maybe do this. Want to do this, Mark? What do you think?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So AKM, we said, I want to see a little bit lower strike price. What about this one? Co-op, Mr. Cooper Group Inc. What the heck do they? Financial services, mortgages.
Yeah. Yeah, strike's too high, but decent chart. It's been pretty resilient to this, move in 2022.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for. We want to see that they have found some solid support. And we see here that pretty much since the end of last year, that's where we have the blue line, which is our lowest close indicator. So support at 39, support at 38, support at 40, support at 36. So right now, a strike price that would give us our required or our desired 30% annualized would be at 42, a little bit too high. Definitely more interested in this if we can sell the 39.
I would agree.
So I would flag this as a maybe and keep an eye on this and just see if we can get a 39. Dropbox. I actually think that Dropbox is also quite interesting. What do you think about them?
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I agree.
Right. I mean, just looking at the company, do we like Dropbox as a company, right? So a fairly low PE ratio of 21. They're not paying a dividend yet, but we see over the last quarters, they were very nicely profitable. It seems that their revenue is super stable here, so they're not growing like crazy. Their profits are healthy. Looking at the annual, this is where I say, okay, it's a company that was a growth company and seems to right now morph into a value. But honestly, I'm not too excited about this. We're missing revenue data for 2020, but we see that basically over the last 4 years, they have been operating at a loss. Right
Yeah.
now, they seem to pull it off. And this is where I must say, looking at the chart, it looks interesting and decent. But I want to say for Dropbox, I'm not quite sure where is their competitive advantage? I mean, now you have Dropbox, you have Google Drive, you have Apple iCloud, you have Microsoft Box, and isn't it all kind of the same? I mean, why is Dropbox so much better?
I would have the same concern.
Yeah, so this is why I wouldn't trade Dropbox here, and it just also disappeared from the scanner. All right, okay, pick one, anyone. Which one do you want to pick and look at?
I wanted you to look at Google, but I think it just popped off. But maybe just check it
No,
out.
it's still
Okay.
there. Which one? GOG
Geo,
or
yeah, GOOGL.
this one? Okay. All right. All right. So what do you think about this? I saw it earlier and
So
I
am
flagged
I.
it as a maybe because the strike price that came up earlier today was 111, but now at 108.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the financials of Google just to get an idea. Okay, so we have a P ratio of 21 21. They're not paying a dividend. We know that from Google. So I'm missing a few quarterly numbers here, but it looks good annually. All right, all right. So that's good. So the reason why they have been sliding recently is basically in line with the markets.
Yeah.
I kind of like this.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that strong support's about 106, but I think 108's decent too.
Well, let's plug it into the calculator and see what's happening. So this would be expiring next week. So we have a week from now. Here we go. So based on my account size, I would trade 12 contracts. This would give me $936 in premium. And this means $117 per day.
Plug in 87 for the premium.
Is that what we are getting right now?
It's moved. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I like it over 1,000 and 131. I like this. I'll take another look at this here in a moment, and I'm probably going to take this trade. I just
I
want
like it.
to. I mean, just
That's why I
so
was a
full
little
disclosure, I'm
distracted.
very, very strongly leaning to this. The reason why I'm not taking it live right now is I mean, we analyzed the trades here in what, 30 seconds? I just want to give it another quick thought here before we are doing it. All right, anyhow. So this is what's going on in the markets now, especially regarding buying back put options. I just released another video, and you want to take a look at this because buying back options, does this mean that you're leaving money on the table, or is that a smart idea? Take a look at this video here and then have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Happy trading, everybody.